because you are human existence.
I believe that we are creatures not of bodies. I think we are expressions of life, we are expressions of spirit, and that we are not chained by gravities, by walls, by limits.
Okay, Revolution Radio, here we go. It is Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. It is time for the Quantum Leap Show. Let light unite with our goddess spiritual warrior, Cathy Bilsky.
Aloha, everybody. This is Cathy Bilsky, the Quantum Leap, Let Light Unite show on UPRN Radio. Got a special guest for you tonight, and it's Chris Kehler, who's a quantum energy healer. And, Chris I've had him on before, but like I said, he's an energy healer, and he uses the ancient form of pendulum dowsing. We'll talk about what that is, and, to find the root cause of all the health problems. And, he works with pyramid energies and geometric tools, and, we'll talk all about that stuff. And if we could actually have people call in with questions, if you want to get a reading or some work done from Chris, give us a try. Moving along, I wanted to do some quick energy work before I bring Chris on to really take advantage of this big group work that we're doing. And really, guys, if you don't think we're making an impact on the planet, just look at all the protests going out there. People getting involved, and it has nothing to do with, if you're against the Republicans, then you've got to be Democrat. It is just people that are conscious, and they're sticking up for truth, and they're standing up and saying, no, we're not going to let you run over us anymore. This is not acceptable behavior. So let's keep up the works. We're going to do a few prayers, and of course we're going to direct them on Washington because that crowd certainly needs it. And the more energy that's directed, the light is going to anchor and come out, and we're going to start seeing some good stuff come out of there, which in a way we are. I mean, sometimes it's got to get so bad before you actually see it. And oh my goodness. Anyway, so let's do a little bit of light work, and just sit down, put your feet flat on the floor. Let's make this really easy. And I want you to just send lots and lots of energy. And we're going to create bubbles of light. And we're going to imagine ourselves in this huge, huge circle, big auditorium with a big crystal in the center. So feel yourself connect with the Creator, and all that energy just come pouring into the top of your head, flowing through your body, down your arm, out your hands, and feel yourself send that energy into the center. And in this bubble of light, let's put Donald Trump and all his associates. So he called the higher self of President Trump to help him reconnect to the Creator, becoming an awakened spiritual being that will now stand up for water and tribal rights and humanity. Envision Trump stepping up and denying the pipeline easement through tribal lands, along with canceling the project completely. We also cut all ties Trump has with the pipeline investors, the Jewish mafia, and all dark groups that are trying to control him, including Russia. Let's also remove all dark energy overlays around Trump that is stopping him from becoming an awakened spiritual being, taking right action for all of humanity. Now we ask Trump's higher self to help him reconnect to the Creator, becoming an awakened spiritual being who will protect land, water, and all tribal lands and humanity from the big corporations. We call the higher selves of all the government agencies to step forward and make Trump divest from all his corporate holdings, and if he refuses, which is free will, then let him be impeached for his actions, replaced with a light worker. Let's send energy to that spark of light that is left in Trump, now to his heart, and as the energy flows to the heart, let's now direct it to his brain, so he makes compassionate decisions and, complete sentences. We also called all his propaganda ministers to now speak truth, and the press to hold him accountable for their words. See all veils of dark energy removed from the masses so they see truth. Let's send energy to all the people who are standing firm against Trump's policies that are not for the benefit of humankind or the earth and all he does. Let them be divinely guided to right actions. And may this work also apply to all of Trump's family and all his advisors. So fill it up with light and love, and let's take a deep breath. So again, let's create another bubble of light, and let's put Washington, D.C. in this prayer. So let's see the violet flame anchored in D.C. and transmuting all satanic ceremonies as well as everyone working there. We cut all ties between everyone's hidden agendas and all energy of white supremacy, fascism, and transmute that energy again through the violet ray. We ask that all dark energy veils be removed from everyone living in this area and their higher selves. Help them reconnect to the Creator, becoming awakened spiritual beings. Now let's blast Washington, D.C. with light. And while we're doing that, and we put the Republicans and the Democrats in there, and we're going to call to Michael the Archangel to cut forth all that energy and cut the flotation pacts that they have made to stay in power. And as that energy is cut from them, we're going to ask their higher selves to help them reconnect to the Creator, become an awakened spiritual being, now working for humanity. So keep blasting Washington, D.C. with light, and let's chant, may divine enlightenment descend on everyone now. May divine enlightenment awaken within everyone now. 2 more times. May divine enlightenment descend on everyone now. May divine enlightenment awaken within everyone now. May divine enlightenment descend on everyone now. May divine enlightenment awaken within everyone now. So fill it up with light and love, and let's take a deep breath and release it. And I want to do one more bubble of light. And if y'all know who Steve Bannon is in the White House, we're going to put Steve Bannon in this bubble and do some energy to neutralize his White House influence. So we call to Trump's chief strategist, Steve Bannon's higher self, to help him step forward into the light. And if he chooses not to, which is free will, we ask his higher self to put him in a position of harmlessness. We surround him in a bubble of mirror that contains his energy with the violet flame added to transmute all his out-of-balance thoughts and plans back to light. The bubble of mirror stays up 24/7, 365 days a year until he works for light. We call to Michael the Archangel to cut all ties Bannon has with Trump, Priebus Pence, Paul Ryan, Kellyanne Conway, Eric Prince and his neo-Blackwater mercenary militia, Breitbart News, all Christian white supremacists and Nazis. As ties between these beings' groups are cut, see all their agendas falling apart. Now cut all ties Bannon has to Hitler in trying to manifest the Fourth Reich by force of will or by satanic magic. We remove all magic surrounding Bannon. We remove all veils of invisibility that surrounds him so people see him clearly as a Nazi that needs to be removed from the White House through legal means. See all these plans, magics that he has falling apart now. We cut all ties Bannon has to Albert Pike in manifesting World War III by creating chaos through the Muslim world. See all satanic magic trying to move this dark agenda forward, filling with so much light the plans fall apart. See all the federal judges standing up and make clear they will not uphold this illegal law. We send energy to the ACLU for stepping up and defending the civil rights of Muslims. See the spiritual warriors coming out for justice in a nonviolent way with success. Imagine all Nazi swastika symbols reversing so the energy now brings in peace and prosperity back to the earth and humanity. Every time anyone looks at a Nazi swastika, see the energy being reversed into its correct positive direction. We cut the ties to anyone whose intent is to misuse any sacred symbols. We call the violet flame through the symbols to clean them up, and we reconnect those symbols to the divine. See these energies being reversed to their positive, correct direction now. As Bannon tries to misuse the swastika by bringing in chaos, see it reverse. bringing in peace and prosperity to everyone. See all his plans of shock events falling apart and backfiring on him. If the swastika symbol was used to set humanity's collective solar plexus backwards, we now see reverse directions in the solar plexus and see humanity moving forward in light and love. See Christian evangelicals increasingly waking up to the truth as people realize they are being played. See them recognize, reorganize, to challenge the leaders who are pulling the strings. Let them express divine compassion for all. See all these veils removed from the masses, and as they're removed, see a great awakening of consciousness with everyone given lots of divine guidance on how to move forward in the light. Now we call to Congress, and we want Congress to act Federal Statute 50 U.S. Code 3021, which says a civilian like Steve Bannon has to go through Senate confirmation approval in order to serve on the National Security Council. And as we pull back the curtain on mysterious Bannon, who is believed to be acting as de facto president in the Trump administration, see the Senate standing firm and voting him down. Let's remove all energy veils of magic that Bannon has over Trump. And as these veils are removed, let Trump understand that Bannon is trying to make himself king and fire him, unconsciously replacing him with a light worker. See all Bannon's plans falling apart on every level. Let us now send lots of light energy to all of Earth's grids, the morphogenetic grid, ley lines, domes, obelisks, pyramids, and all the sacred spots on the planet to correct our timeline back to peace and prosperity. Fill that up with light and love. Let's take a deep breath and release it. Whew! And we give thanks for this opportunity to serve. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you joining in and amplifying that work, because really what we are doing is really important and does make a difference on the earth. So let's bring Chris Keller on. Chris, welcome. How are you?
I am good, considering I had to wake up to do the show, but that's all good.
Oh, but you sound really fresh and awesome. So, you know, you are an incredible healer, and I feel very blessed having you on.
This is our second time together now, isn't it?
Oh, that sounds so dirty. And on air. Oh, my God. Yeah. So I just wanted to let you know that Skype has been a little squirrely, and we're going to try to take calls. And I'm hoping it'll come through, and if not, you're just going to share a lot of incredible information.
There's so much to share right now, the way the energies are changing right now, but let's go for it, and anybody who wants to call in and see what we can dig up about a health problem, I'm more than welcome.
Okay, well, if they don't, I'll give you one.
I'm more than ready.
Well, it's not a biggie, okay, but, you know, what is life? It seems, oh, my God, on my ring finger, okay, my left hand, my knuckle blew up.
Your knuckle blew up.
I know. You know, it's like double the size, and I can't get it to go down, and I'm going, oh, my God, does this mean I'll never get married again?
What I do with my work is I form a bit of a focus. So I'll ask some questions, what comes up from those questions. So how long ago did this happen?
Oh, probably about 6 months ago.
Okay. Did you do anything to irritate it? Did you smack somebody in the back of the head? Did you trip and fall or anything like that?
You know, no. I just woke up one morning, and it was aching, and there it was, and I went, wow, I can't put my ring on that finger anymore.
I'm going to take my pendulum, ask my charts, ask source what is going on here. What problem do we need to work on within Cathy? And it's spelling out that the problem is that the reptilians are this in the finger. So now the work that I do revolves heavily around the concept of ET, of aliens, of the satanic, all of these dark forces, let's call them. So what it's telling me is that there is some reptilian influence, some reptilian within that finger. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my pyramid and I'm going to hold it up to the computer. I do this work on people 5 days a week, 9 hours a day. This is what I do for a living. And we're going to pull this energy out of that finger, and you're going to tell me if you feel some energy moving within it, okay?
I promise.
Okay, here we go. Cathy's ring finger. All reptilians, please leave into ether. From the ring finger, all reptilians, false. Please leave into ether. So it's going to take a few seconds, maybe a minute for it to go away. You might feel some tingling, some pulsing, some heat from Cathy's ring finger. Okay, I'm feeling pulsing on my end. There's a lot of pulling, a lot of resistance happening. Ring finger reptilians. There they go. They are now leaving that finger. What kind of sensations do you feel there?
Well, I have more movement in it. It's not quite as stiff.
Something moved. Okay, now, ultimately, we go after all of these obscure types of energies, all of this ET stuff, all of this outer-dimensional stuff. What it does is it opens up the door to go into the physical of what it might be. So let's see if something else comes up that way. So I'm going to ask the question again, what problem do we need to work on within Cathy's ring finger? And it's spelling out that the problem is, okay, the reptilians are the swelling is, okay, so they're showing me that we're going to remove the swelling from the reptilians being in there. Here we go. From Cathy's ring finger, all swelling false. Swelling false. Reduce all the swelling. All the swelling in the knuckle of the ring finger, false. A lot of energy pulling there, a lot of resistance. Swelling, false. And you might notice it starting to get less swelling as we do this. Ring finger, swelling, false. That is now finished. How does it feel now?
Much more movement. I could feel like some stuff was leaving. You know, like it was literally being pulled out.
Exactly it. The reptilians, my goodness, they have an incredible hold on us. And our job to be able to deal with all this ET influence, all of this stuff that's going on out of dimension that is really affecting us. And for some reason, they wanted to affect your ring finger, and there they go. They did their job now, didn't they?
Well, they did, and yeah, karma's a bitch. Now, you were using some tools, and I know you brought up a pendulum, and I'm not sure if everybody knows what a pendulum is.
For the most part, it's a crystal, some type of crystal, a quartz, a hematite, whatever type of crystal it is on the end of a chain, and you hold it. What I do is I use charts. Okay, these are a set of charts I developed to help discern what the problem is, where it is, what it is, etc. And the pendulum will start to swing in the direction of the word on the chart. A lot of people use thought, a lot of people will use feeling, a lot of people will use different types of psychic intuition to do the same thing I do. My modality is the pendulum, and it works very, very successfully only because of the chart system is laid out so strategically in order to boil down what a thing is. There's a lot of people have a lot of very, very intricate problems. If you look at people with ALS, people with COPD, dementia, all different types of problems like this are very, very layered. And in order to really get to the root of these problems, you need to be able to get through all the layers. And that's what this chart and pendulum system does, is it gets through all the layers and gives you the right answers.
Well, you kept bringing up reptilians, and I'm sure, I address them a lot, and I'm sure there's a few people are going, what the hell is he talking about? Dinosaurs? What?
Well, I'm sure I don't have to convince anybody that we're not the only species in the universe, or multiverse for that matter, living on a planet. So, in other dimensions, in other universes, other planets, that are species of humanoids or whatever that exist, and they live in a multidimensional aspect of things, so they're able to use Stargate, wormhole, portal technology to come in and out of our planet. And for the most part, the reptilians, they basically designed us, okay? We're the sixth seeding of humanity on this planet. And we have been designed to be here as a resource, as a plaything, as something for them to do experiments, whatever, to use for cloning, for their use. We are a resource. And I do find quite often that the whole concept of cloning is a very big problem. So all these entities...
when you're talking about cloning, what the hell are you talking? People are being cloned. Yeah, I've heard that movie stars, they're saying, the entertainment, a lot of people are cloned. And I've actually, I mean, you're going to bring up cloning. God, what was the one? Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
If you watch him where he was on, or maybe Saturday Night Live recently, and then go back and look at him, how he was maybe 5 years ago, and you're just going, wow, these are two different people. They kind of look the same, but...
Now, the concept of cloning, now everything that I work with, let's say proof in the pudding, so the concepts that are brought to me through Source, through my pendulum, to work on, like, my whole concept, my whole desire and passion is to figure out all these severe health problems within people and be able to reverse them. Everything that I find, let's take the cloning concept. I find proof in the pudding when I do a clearing of cloning on somebody, they get almost an instant result. And I've had many, many clients, and my 5-year-old son is one of them, where I've disconnected this person from the clone, and all of a sudden the next day things are a lot better. And one client in particular, this gentleman, I got him off dialysis, cured his lymphoma, but 10 sessions in, I could not shrink his prostate. It was big and hard. It was like a fist. And he says, Chris, come on, you got me off of dialysis, for crying out loud. And I just could not crack the whole concept of his large prostate. And then it came to me through my pendulum, through a meditation, that there is a cloning process involved. As soon as I disconnected his prostate from the cloned prostate, he said that he could feel it getting smaller right away. He says, wow, holy smokes, this thing is getting smaller. That told me that there is a relevance, it's a valid concept, that there are species, the reptilians, the Arcturians, the Sulan, all these different species are cloning us for their benefit, basically as a war concept to put within a warrior they've created in a hybrid situation to go fight these wars.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How do you know if you've been cloned? Have I been cloned? Can you tell?
In one way, shape, or form, everybody has had a certain body part or an aspect of them cloned. For the most part, if you have a health issue or something about you that does not seem to want to go away, so you have, let's say, a cough that does not go away, no matter what you do, this cough does not go away, there's a good chance that a part of your respiratory system has been cloned.
Oh. I think somebody cloned my ring finger.
Not so much cloned it, but the reptilians were in there. They were setting up house. They were in there. They wanted to infiltrate you. Now, of course, you're a person of high vibration, just like I am, just like anybody else is in this world of energy. And they want to stop us from what we're doing. So they created a distraction within that fingernail, didn't they?
Well, I have to say it wasn't working very well for him, because I still do my work and my job. It's just, it was one of those, it's enough to go, really? Okay, I know you're there, but too bad. My life moves on.
The whole concept of the ascension process, and many people talk about it, going into a higher vibration of energy, the fifth dimension, the seventh dimension, whatever dimension you want to call it, the age of Aquarius. I mean, there's many, many concepts about this whole shift, this energy shift. Now, of course, these reptilians and any other being that feeds off of our energy does not want us to go into this higher dimension of consciousness, because once that happens, we're no longer any good to them. They can't go to that dimension with us. So they want to keep us down. They want to stop us. They want to pull our vibration down. They want to distract us so that they can continue to feed off of us. They feed on our energy that we exude. We call it loosh. That's what they use as their food source. And they also use us for experiments. They use us for sacrificial rituals, anything of a sexual nature. Many clients I have, they call me and say, Chris, every night I go to bed and something is having sex with me on an ongoing basis, and there's nobody else in the bed but me. And many people right now are putting up their hands. Yes, that's me, that's me, that's me. The whole concept of sexual sacrifice is incredibly huge within the extraterrestrial race, within the multidimensionals.
Wow. Yeah, you're giving me a lot to think about tonight, I have to say. And the thing is, when I just want to point out, you can be very high vibration and energy, and you and I work at it, but you can still have a human moment. So if something happens to you that you took a hit, which is what I would consider my little ring finger, a hit, don't get upset for having a human moment. We all have them. And then God brings into your life, if you're open to receiving wonderful people like Chris, who points out what it is so you can help release the rest of it. Thank you, Chris.
You're so very welcome.
Let's talk about the other healing tools you have, like the neutralization ring.
My arsenal, if you're a person who does Reiki, quantum touch, EFT, basically you're using your mind, you're using your intent, you're using your hands. What I like to do is use sacred geometry, which is the matrix of the universe, basically. Everything's made up of sacred geometry. It's got a math to it. It's got a lot of different potential within it. Probably a third of all my clients are energy healers themselves who get very sick because of the work they do. They end up taking on other people's energies, other people's problems unknowingly, and they get sick. So I need to clear them out on a monthly basis, let's say, so they can continue to do their work. When I use these sacred geometry tools, which I sell on my website, they take the brunt of the energy. Instead of going through me, it goes through the tools. I make the intent to send it into the ethers, and boom, it's done, it's gone. There's no residue left. I've been doing this now for going on 10 years. I might have gotten hit 2 or 3 times here and there, but nothing to the point where my health is all of a sudden getting very, very low. So the sacred geometry itself is a very big deal. Now, the neutralization ring is based on Sanjanivi Sanskrit design. It goes way, way back to Sanskrit. It's a sacred geometry design of a ring with points going inwards. What it's designed to do is to pull negative energy, or at least to loosen a lot of deep-seated negative energy within your body. And that could be stuff from past lives. It could be stuff from other dimensions and universes that's stuck within you at such a deep level that first it needs to be shaken up and moved before you can use your intent to move it out. The neutralization rings are very, very important in my work. I also use something called the sun ring, which looks, when you look at it, it looks like the sun. The points, it's a circle, the points are facing outwards, and what that tool is designed to do is to add energy to your body. So if you stood within that ring and, let's say, placed a quartz crystal, or you placed a shungite, or you placed an essential oil, or something within that ring, it's going to broadcast that energy all through your body and start making changes at the subatomic level. Tools I use, very important. The basic tool I'm using right now is called a Vesica Pisces. And if you were to Google the word Vesica Pisces, what you would see is a lot of female anatomy, if you will, because this whole dimensional shift is taking us into a divine feminine energy, which is a more nurturing energy, is what we need for this ascension. So it works very much highly at the 4th and 5th dimensional into the 7th dimensional levels to get into those higher level energy in your body that need to be cleared out in order to get rid of this health problem.
Now, when you work on people, do you find people have pull-outs before, they heal? And, I don't think a lot of people understand what that word means, pull-out.
What do you mean by pull-out?
A lot of times it can get worse before it gets better.
Oh, yes. That does happen. I call it the storm before the calm. Does happen. Some people call it the homeopathic effect. It can happen. You poke the bear and it takes a while for the bear to leave your body, let's say. It does happen, but because of the system that I use, because I go through so very intricate of levels and clearing all these different levels to get to the problem, when we get to that problem, it leaves very easily and it doesn't create this healing crisis.
That's cool. Time for that. You also have other healing tools. It's in the Beamer. I like that.
With a person out of Alberta, Canada. His name is Wayne Gatos. His company is called Crystalline Incorporated, and he creates all these tools. I am a distributor with him, but he's also a mentor of mine. And all these different tools have different concepts to them. Let's say the Beamer looks like a piece of copper pipe, gold and platinum plated, and it's got some different characteristics to it, but within it there are 4 different noble gases that help to do the work. So when you hold this tool and point it, it's just like a quartz crystal wand that you would hold and point towards something. But because of the noble gas concept within it, the gases that mix with anything, when you put intent into it, it works at a different level to help in different ways. It's more of a pinpoint energy. I also use something called an Ankh, and an Ankh is an Egyptian symbol for the most part, but it's not really Egyptian. It goes much deeper than that. The Ankh works very well as a grounding plate to keep somebody grounded while doing a healing. So I would take that Ankh and have the client put their right foot on top of it to help ground them out so that if anything is in their body that needs to leave, they have that entity has a place to go in some cases. There's also a tool called the G. And the G looks just like that. It looks like the letter G, but the geometry of it is designed that if you took the G, put it in different corners of your house, it's designed to neutralize and cancel out any geopathic stresses within your house.
Wow. Okay. I want to get some of the tools, I have to say. I want to talk. Let's jump to your training program. You want to talk about that?
I've had many people in the past ask me, do I train anybody in what I do? And I was like, no, I don't. But I was getting so many people asking me, can you train me? Can you show me what? And it's like, you know what? Maybe I should develop something so that I could help people to learn this, because ultimately this is open source. There's no secrets here. This is something that is gifted to myself and humanity. So I thought, okay, let's develop something where I can send you buy this off of my website, you call me and make an arrangement, we send this to you, and basically you're getting all of my charts, which I've spent the last 10 years developing, the protocol I developed and how to confirm answers, because when you're dowsing with a pendulum, the biggest thing that comes up is doubt. Is this the right answer? So I've developed about 5 or 6 different ways within the chart system to confirm an answer. So it helps in that aspect. You also get a metal pyramid, you get some neutralization rings, you get a sun ring, you get an anatomy book, you get a DVD that shows you how to use the chart. So you get everything that you need in order to get you started. And of course, what you get is you get my personal coaching. So if you are using this system and all of a sudden you're having some confusion, what do? You send me an email and I tell you how to get by it. And it's as simple as that. And generally within 3 or 4 hours, if not right away, I get back to you and coach you through it. And right now I've got 42 different students all over the world, literally, Cathy, all over the world. 2 people in India, I got somebody in Croatia, a few people in the United Kingdom, 2 people in New Zealand, Australia, and then many people in the States doing this, because everybody's realizing the potential that is there when you start looking at things with this paradigm. It's working at an amazing level. Almost any health problem, any problem whatsoever, whether it's dementia, whether it's depression, anxiety, pains in your body, migraines, no matter what it is, it can be worked out to find out what negative energy is happening in your body causing anything to happen.
Well, what are the requirements that people need to successfully do the true quantum healing course?
Ultimately, if you have confidence and experience with a pendulum, you're going to do very well. And what I've done is on my website, right next on the web store, right next to the course, there is 5 different charts of mine that you can print off for free, and you can take a pendulum and try out the charts and see if it works for you. There's also a video that you can watch that explains how to use the pendulum, how to dowse. And my system of dowsing is much different than anybody else's. The way I use a pendulum, people look at me and say, that's not right. And I say, hey, it works, it's right, there's nothing wrong with it. You can try it out, and you can see if it's going to work for you. If you're somebody who has had this need or this desire, this push to be in a healing modality of some kind, and you're trying to find the right one, got some kind of knack with the pendulum, this is absolutely right for you. Basically, anybody who spends time with it is going to make it work. And it's the people who get frustrated and put it away and say, oh, this ain't working. Of course, that's not going to work. If you spend a lot of time at it and you keep working at it, just like anything, you're going to do very well. There's no reason why anybody can't do this course.
Well, it's like learn by doing. The more you do, it's what I tell people. I'm just good at what I am good at because I do it all the time. 8 times a day, 365 days a year, you get good at it.
I'm in a band, okay? My lead singer said it best once. He just spend 10,000 hours on something, you're going to master it. And more than 10,000 hours with the pendulum and charts, and things are going so incredibly well that I have no doubt that anybody who does pick up this course, if you put time into it, you ask questions, you're going to do well with it. And ultimately, when you do get into this course, you are part of the whole system of people who are in it. So the other 41 people, other 43 people that are in it, you have access to their email, you have access to an online group box that you can talk to everyone, you can get different perspectives on things, you can ask what person is doing this for that problem. There's a lot of different concepts. It's not just me you're working with the whole group.
How does one choose a pendulum?
I get that question a lot, and there are many, many different pendulums. I've used quartz, I've used copper. The one I use right now is he's one of my students, and he's doing unbelievable with the course. He makes an orgone pendulum. I got it right here in front of me. It's got a Herkimer diamond within it. Now, the way I dowse, if I don't use the chain, I just hold the pendulum in my hand, and my arm is the chain, basically. These pendulums that he's developed are the perfect weight, the perfect size for my type of dowsing. So we're developing, between him and I, the perfect type of pendulum we can put on the market and offer to people. But I think ultimately, if you're going to start pendulum dowsing, you don't want, the weight is very important, okay? The type of crystal, the type of material it's made of is not so much as important as how that pendulum feels in your hand, because ultimately it's an extension of your consciousness, it's an extension of your arm, and it needs to be able to swing freely, and you have to be able to feel that energy. That is the most important thing. Again, I've said I've reused crystal pendulums, metal ones, copper ones, and I get results of all of them, but ultimately the one that feels best in your hand is the one that's best for you.
Now, for those people who have never done it before, and if they wanted to start, would you recommend just asking it yes and no questions, the pendulum?
That's a good way to start, okay, but again, yes and no is going to leave you a lot of doubt. So what I've done is I've made a chart, it's called a percentage chart, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, up to 100, up to 300%. So instead of asking yes or no, I'll ask a percentage chart. Let's say you take a herb, and you want to know, is this herb good for me? So you look at the yes and no chart, and you ask, is this herb good for my body? And it'll say yes. Okay, so it's good for me. So if you go to the percentage chart, And you say, how good is this herb for me? And it might say 60%. Okay? So now you're above 50, but you want to, for anything like that, you want to be in the 75 to 80% range. So then you would start to ask different herbs, how good are they for me? And then when you get to the 80, 90%, then you know that this is the herb that you need. So the percentage chart takes a lot of doubt out of the doubting, okay? It puts things into more perspective as you can say, I'm very confident of this answer. That's really what you want to look for.
Oh, that's brilliant. So it's better than, swinging yes for yes, like one way and no for the other way. And I like that. That's brilliant.
Works so incredibly well. And again, the chart system I developed takes all of the doubt out of it. It gives you about 5 different ways to ask a question. I've even got a question chart. What question is optimal to ask for this person? 25 different questions to choose from, and it'll tell you the best question. Ultimately, when you're dowsing with a pendulum, you're working with that ultimate consciousness. You ask the right question, you get the right answer.
Let's go to your, what are your websites if people want to get a hold of you?
My website is chriskehler.net.
And that's www.chriskehler.net. You have YouTube videos.
I've got many YouTube videos, and I put lots of different updates, monthly updates of energy things that I find. There's many videos on how to use the tools, demonstrations on how to use them. All of my radio shows, all of my interviews are on that YouTube channel. There's must be about 450 different videos that you can look at. Informational concepts about the tools themselves, about my philosophies, about the whole realm of energy that we're all dealing with. And
you're also on Facebook.
I am on Facebook, and I like to have fun on Facebook. It's just one of those things that, you got to have some fun once in a while. And any kind of updates, any kind of little tidbits, I'll post on Facebook.
Cool. What do you want to share with everybody?
The concept of ascension. People have this belief about all of a sudden a grand opening of energy. All of a sudden, the skies will part, and all of a sudden good things will come raining down. What I really want people to know is that the ascension process, the higher level of consciousness, is all about what's happening with you on a personal level. My ascension is much different than the next person's ascension. For me, what I realize is that more information is coming in, more knowledge about all of the satanic, dark, reptilian concepts that have been plaguing humanity forever. What I've been finding out lately, that King Solomon has had a very big influence on humanity because he had the potential to manifest pretty much whatever he wanted. So what he did is he manifested all of the jinn. He manifested a lot of the ET species that are out there. He manifested a lot of the spells. There's a spell that he created. It's called the Lesser Key of Solomon. And this is within a book, a satanic spell book called the Ars Notoria, which is housed in the Vatican Library. It's an actual book that you can actually find online and have a look at it. There's a lot of sigil magic in there, a lot of spells, and all of these spells, they have been going their paces through humanity since the 1200s. Even before that, the book was written in the 1200s, so Solomon has been doing this for the longest period of time, and these spells, let's say, have gotten somewhat out of control, and they are having this influence on people at a very high level. So a lot of things that happen within somebody, let's say you have a lot of bad luck. There could be a curse, there could be a spell, a negative intent. So what we do as light work is we get rid of that negative intent and place it with a positive intent. So here we have a polarity shift, okay? So once you shift that polarity, things all of a sudden start to get better in a person's life, okay? Now, the concept of the reptilian is another big one we need to pay attention to, because our DNA contains a lot of their structure, a lot of their DNA structure. And a lot of people have heard that many years ago, thousands of years ago, we used to live to 200, 300, 400, 500 years old. Now, we're lucky if we make it to 90. And that's because our DNA breaks down very early because of the inbreeding inbreeding of the reptilian subatomic particles within our DNA. It causes it to break down early. And there's also other ET species that their DNA is in our DNA. So what I've been doing lately in the last couple of weeks is somebody who has a very bad health problem is moving out the reptilian DNA, the reptilian subatomic particles, all of the Sulan subatomic particles from the person's DNA, and then creating a true human DNA within the person, and then going after other concepts of illness within their body, and all of a sudden they're feeling a heck of a lot better.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
We're just hitting the tip of the iceberg, too, on things. I mean, so many things are happening. Every week I'm being brought new ideas, new clearings, new ways of doing things, and all it does is make you sit back and say, wow, what the heck is going on with humanity? Why are we being attacked so much?
Well, there's also, a new attack on women. It's incredible. The divine feminine is coming up, and they're doing everything they can to put us down and stamp on us and go, oh, nope, you belong back in the kitchen barefoot and taking care of those babies, which you're just going to love to do. We know it because we are just white men, and we know you're going to love it. And they've actually come out and said that. It's incredible.
I work with a lot of people in the Middle East. That's how you're raised. A lot of women are trying to break away from that, I'm finding.
Okay. You think?
Think?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yay. But you're seeing a really awesome uprising now. And women aren't taking it. They can try to take away the rights, but they're going out and they're, the activism is definitely up. The consciousness, it's incredible what we're seeing. How people are awakening.
You see pictures of back in the 70s in Afghanistan and Iran where women are walking around wearing dresses and blouses, and now they're wearing burqas and full-length gowns to cover themselves up. The takeover has been so incredibly big over the last little while.
Oh, yeah, and they're not going to win. We are going to, and that's actually just bringing a balance back. Not an out of balance in the woman or the man, but a very nice divine balance between the male feminine.
That's what needs to happen, yes.
Well, that takes us to the music, and have a wonderful week, everybody. This is a new moon, so make your new moon wishes, and we'll talk to you next week. Aloha.
Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.